Let me start with something I see all the time, especially with people over 50. Thoughtful. Someone decides they want to improve their health, which is a wonderful decision. They put on their shoes, step outside, and immediately begin walking as fast as they can. The arms start swinging hard, the steps get longer, and the breathing becomes heavy within just a few minutes. In their mind, the logic is simple. The faster I walk, the better the results will be. But the body does not work that way, especially after 50. Your body is not a machine that can go from zero to full speed in a few seconds. Size. Muscles, joints, and tendons need a moment to wake up. They need a little time to warm up and prepare for movement. When you skip that gentle beginning and push your body too quickly, you place sudden stress on areas that may already be sensitive with age. Think about your knees for a moment. Every step you take sends force through the knee joint. When you suddenly start walking fast without preparation, that force becomes stronger and sharper. The muscles around the knee are still stiff from sitting or resting, so they cannot support the joint properly. Over time, this habit can lead to knee pain, swelling, and discomfort that makes people believe walking itself is the problem. But walking is not the problem. The way you start walking is the problem. The same thing happens with your hips and lower back. When the body is stiff, the joints do not move smoothly. If you suddenly push the pace, those joints absorb the shock. That is why some people finish their walk feeling tight in the lower back or sore around the hips. It is not because they walked too long. It is because they started too fast. Your heart also needs a gradual start. When you begin walking slowly, your heart rate rises gently. Blood begins flowing to your muscles in a smooth, steady way. But when you start fast, the heart is suddenly forced to work harder before the body is ready. For some people, that can create dizziness, shortness of breath, or a feeling of exhaustion very early in the walk. A much smarter way to begin is simple. When you step outside, let the first 5 minutes be easy. Walk slowly. Let your arms move naturally. Feel your body loosening up with each step. Your ankles begin to move more freely. Your knees start bending smoothly, and your hips begin to open. Your breathing becomes steady. After those few minutes, something interesting happens. Your body starts cooperating with you. The muscles feel warmer, the joints move better, your posture improves naturally. Now, if you increase your pace a little, the body can handle it comfortably. This small change can protect your joints, reduce pain, and make walking feel much more enjoyable. Many people who complain that walking hurts their knees or back are simply starting too aggressively without giving their body time to prepare. Walking should feel smooth, not forced. It should feel natural, not like a race. When you respect the rhythm of your body and allow it to warm up gradually, you protect your joints, support your heart, and make every step healthier. And sometimes, the difference between damaging your body and strengthening it is simply the way you take your first few steps. Now, let's talk about another mistake that quietly harms many people when they walk, and most of them do not even realize they are doing it. It has nothing to do with distance or speed. It has to do with posture. The way you hold your body while walking can either support your health or slowly create problems in your neck, back, and joints. Look around any park or street where people are walking, and you will notice something interesting. Many people are not really standing tall. Their head is pushed forward, their shoulders are rounded, and their eyes are looking down at the ground or at a phone in their hands. The upper back becomes slightly curved, and the steps become shorter and heavier. It may not seem like a big issue in the moment, but when this posture repeats thousands of times every day, it begins to affect the body in ways people do not expect. After the age of 50, posture becomes even more important. Muscles are naturally not as strong as they once were, and joints may already carry years of wear. When the head leans forward while walking, the neck has to carry extra weight. In fact, just moving the head a few inches forward can make the neck muscles work much harder than they should. Over time, this leads to stiffness, tension, and that familiar tight feeling across the shoulders and the back of the neck. But it does not stop there. When the shoulders round forward, the chest becomes slightly closed. That small change reduces how freely your lungs can expand. You may not notice it immediately, but your breathing becomes a little more shallow. When breathing is shallow, the body receives less oxygen during movement. That means you may feel tired faster, even though you are doing the same walk you always do. Poor posture also changes the way your hips and knees move. When the upper body leans forward, the center of balance shifts, the hips start compensating, and the knees take on more pressure with every step. This is one of the quiet reasons some people develop knee discomfort even when they are doing something healthy like walking. The good news is that correcting this mistake is surprisingly simple. It starts with awareness. When you begin your walk, imagine a gentle string pulling the top of your head upward. Your chin stays level with the ground. Your eyes look forward instead of down. Your shoulders relax and fall naturally back instead of rolling forward. Your arms should swing easily at your sides, not stiff and not forced. This natural arm movement helps your body stay balanced and supports a smooth walking rhythm. As your posture improves, something interesting happens. Your steps begin to feel lighter. Your breathing becomes deeper without you even trying. Your body starts moving in a more natural and efficient way. People often believe walking is just about moving the legs, but the truth is, walking is a full body movement. Your head, shoulders, spine, hips, and legs all work together as one system. When one part is out of alignment, the rest of the body must compensate. And over time, those small compensations become pain, stiffness, or fatigue. Standing tall while you walk does more than protect your spine. It allows your lungs to open fully, helps your muscles work the way they were designed to, and makes every step more balanced and comfortable. Sometimes the smallest correction can completely change how your body feels during a walk, and simply lifting your head and straightening your posture can turn an ordinary walk into something that truly strengthens your body. Now, there is another mistake that many people overlook, and it may seem small at first, but it can quietly damage the body over time. It has nothing to do with how long you walk or how fast you move. It has to do with what is on your feet. The shoes you choose for walking can either protect your body or slowly create stress in your joints. Many people after 50 continue wearing whatever footwear is convenient. Some go out for walks in old running shoes that have already lost their support. Others walk in thin sandals, loose slippers, or shoes that feel comfortable but were never designed for walking long distances. At first, it may not seem like a big deal. The walk still happens, the steps still move forward, and everything feels normal for a while. But the body feels every step more than you may realize. When you walk, your feet are the first part of the body that absorbs impact. Every step sends pressure upward through the ankles, knees, hips, and even the lower back. Good walking shoes help soften that impact and spread the pressure evenly. But worn out or unsupportive shoes cannot do that job anymore. Think about the cushioning in a shoe like a small protective layer between your body and the ground. Over time, that cushioning becomes flat and weak. When that happens, the shock from every step travels directly into your joints. At first, it may only cause a little soreness in the feet at the end of a walk, but after weeks or months, the stress begins to show up somewhere else. The knees may start to ache, the ankles may feel stiff, some people even notice discomfort in their hips or lower back without realizing the real cause is the shoes they are wearing. Another problem with poor footwear is stability. As we get older, balance becomes more important than ever. Shoes that are too loose, too flat, or too worn can make the foot move in ways it should not. When the foot rolls inward or outward too much, it changes the alignment of the leg. That small shift can place extra strain on the knees and hips with every step. A good walking shoe does not need to be expensive or fancy. What matters is support. The shoe should hold the foot firmly without squeezing it. The sole should have enough cushioning to soften the impact of walking. The heel should feel stable, not loose or wobbly. When you walk in a shoe like that, your feet feel secure, your steps feel balanced, and your joints do not have to absorb unnecessary stress. It is also important to remember that shoes do not last forever. Even if they still look good on the outside, the support inside may already be worn down. Many people keep walking in the same pair for years simply because the shoe still looks fine. But the body feels the difference long before the shoe looks damaged. Pay attention to what your feet tell you. If your feet feel tired quickly, if your knees feel sore after walking, or if the bottoms of your shoes are unevenly worn, these can all be signs that your footwear is no longer supporting you properly. Walking is one of the simplest and most powerful habits you can have after 50, but your body relies on your feet to carry you safely through every step. And sometimes protecting your knees, hips, and back begins with something as simple as wearing the right pair of shoes. Now let's look at another mistake that many people make when they begin walking regularly, especially after 50. At first, it sounds like a good habit. Someone finds a comfortable route near their home, chooses a steady pace, and repeats the same walk every day, the same path, the same distance, the same speed. It becomes a routine, and routines feel safe and easy to follow. But over time, the body becomes very good at adapting. What once felt like exercise slowly turns into something the body can do without much effort. The muscles get used to the same movement, the same rhythm, and the same level of effort. When that happens, the walk stops challenging the body in the way it once did. Think about it this way. The human body improves when it is gently challenged. When muscles face a small new demand, they respond by getting stronger. When the heart has to work a little harder, it becomes more efficient. When the lungs take in more air during movement, breathing capacity improves. But if the body repeats the exact same effort every day without any change, it begins to settle into a comfort zone. Many people after 50 walk the same flat route at the same slow pace for months or even years. While it is still better than not moving at all, the body is no longer gaining the same benefits. The muscles of the legs stop strengthening. The heart does not need to work harder. Energy levels may stop improving. Some people even feel like they are walking every day, but their fitness is not really changing. Another issue with doing the same walk every day is that the same muscles carry the same load again and again. The body moves in a repeating pattern. Over time, certain joints and muscles may become slightly overworked while others remain underused. This can sometimes lead to stiffness or discomfort because the body is not moving in a varied and balanced way. The solution does not require extreme workouts or long hours of exercise. In fact, the change can be very simple. Small variations can wake the body up again and bring new life into the habit of walking. For example, one day you may walk at your usual pace, but during the middle of the walk, you increase your speed for 2 or 3 minutes before slowing down again. This small change gently challenges the heart and muscles. On another day, you might choose a slightly longer route or walk a few extra minutes. That extra time gives the body a new level of endurance to work with. Sometimes even changing the path can make a difference. Walking on a route with gentle slopes or small hills naturally activates different muscles in the legs and hips. The body has to adjust its balance and strength, which helps keep the joints active and flexible. Even something as simple as swinging your arms a little more actively or focusing on slightly longer steps for a short period can create a new stimulus for the body. The goal is not to push the body to exhaustion. The goal is simply to prevent the body from falling into a pattern where it stops improving. Walking should continue to wake up your muscles, strengthen your heart, and keep your body feeling alive. And sometimes the difference between a routine that maintains your health and one that truly improves it is simply adding a little variety to the steps you take each day. Now, there is another habit that many people believe is healthy, but when you look closely, it can actually create discomfort and make walking harder on the body. It happens right after a meal. Many people finish eating and immediately stand up to go for a walk because they have heard that walking helps digestion. The idea sounds logical, so the habit becomes very common. But the timing of that walk makes a big difference. When you eat a meal, your body begins an important job. Digestion starts almost immediately. The stomach begins breaking down the food, and blood flow increases around the digestive system so the body can process nutrients properly. This process requires energy and attention from your body. Now imagine what happens if you suddenly begin walking right after a heavy meal. Your muscles start asking for blood and oxygen so they can move. At the same time, your stomach is also asking for blood and energy so digestion can happen smoothly. The body now has two different systems competing for the same resources. When this happens, neither process works as comfortably as it should. Some people begin to feel heaviness in the stomach while walking. Others notice mild cramping or bloating. Sometimes there is a feeling of pressure or slow digestion that makes the walk uncomfortable instead of refreshing. After the age of 50, this becomes even more important. The digestive system may not move as quickly as it once did. Meals may take a little longer to break down, especially if they contain a lot of fat, protein, or large portions. When walking begins immediately after eating, the stomach is forced to handle digestion, while the body is already in motion. That extra stress can lead to discomfort that people often blame on the food itself, when in reality, the problem is simply the timing of the walk. Another issue is energy. When the body is busy digesting a meal, it naturally directs more blood toward the stomach area. This can sometimes leave the muscles feeling slightly heavy or sluggish during movement. People may notice that the walk feels slower or more tiring than usual, even though they have eaten recently. A much better approach is to give the body a little time before starting your walk. This does not mean waiting for hours. In most cases, allowing your body 20 to 30 minutes after a normal meal can make a big difference. During that time, the digestive process begins calmly and the stomach settles into its rhythm. Once that short period has passed, walking becomes much more comfortable. Your stomach is no longer struggling to adjust. Your breathing feels easier, and your body can move without that heavy sensation many people experience when they rush out too quickly after eating. Some people find that a very gentle stroll after a light meal is fine, but the key word is gentle. The mistake happens when someone eats a full meal and then immediately begins a fast or long walk. Walking should leave you feeling lighter, clearer, and more energized. When the timing is right, the body works in harmony instead of competing with itself. And sometimes the difference between a walk that feels uncomfortable and one that truly benefits your body is simply giving your stomach a little time before you begin moving. Now let's talk about a belief that many people hold when they reach their 50s and beyond. They begin walking regularly, which is a wonderful habit, and after a while, they start thinking that walking alone is enough to keep the body completely healthy. In their mind, the equation becomes simple. I walk every day, so I'm doing everything I need. But the human body is a little more complex than that. Walking is one of the best things you can do for your heart, your circulation, and your overall energy. It keeps the body moving, helps control weight, supports the mind, and improves mood. But walking mainly works certain parts of the body, especially the legs and the cardiovascular system. Other parts of the body need attention as well, and if they are ignored, small problems can slowly begin to appear. One of the most common issues is muscle weakness in areas that walking does not fully strengthen. For example, the muscles that support the hips, the lower back, and the core are extremely important for balance and stability. When these muscles become weak, the body begins to compensate in small ways during movement. Over time, those small adjustments can create strain in the knees, the hips, or the lower back. Many people who walk every day still complain about stiffness when they wake up in the morning or when they stand up after sitting for a long time. This stiffness often happens because the body is moving in one pattern repeatedly, but is not stretching or strengthening other muscle groups that help maintain flexibility and balance. Another important factor after 50 is bone strength. Bones need gentle resistance to stay strong. Walking does provide some support for bone health, but it is not always enough by itself. Simple body weight movements, light strength exercises, or even controlled stretching can stimulate the bones and muscles in ways that walking alone cannot. Balance is another area that deserves attention. As people age, balance naturally becomes a little less stable. Walking in a straight line on a flat surface does not challenge balance very much, but small balance exercises or movements that engage the core muscles can help maintain stability and prevent falls later in life. Think of the body like a team where every part has a role to play. Walking keeps the heart and legs active, which is wonderful. But the body also needs flexibility so joints can move freely. It needs strength so muscles can support the skeleton properly. It needs balance so everyday movements remain safe and controlled. The good news is that adding these elements does not require long workouts or complicated routines. Even a few minutes of gentle stretching after a walk can help keep the muscles flexible. A few simple strength movements 2 or 3 times a week can support the hips, the core, and the upper body. Small balance exercises can train the body to stay steady and confident. When these pieces come together, walking becomes even more powerful. Your steps feel lighter, your posture improves, and your body moves with greater stability and ease. Instead of simply maintaining your health, you begin to actively strengthen it. Walking is a wonderful foundation, but true long term health comes when the whole body is supported. And the real secret is understanding that walking is the beginning of movement, not the whole story.